Welcome everybody. Today we are going to be talking about arena defenses. But first, my goodness, Arunka looks so good with the frame. Oh, it looks so good. But let's get right into it, right? I am going to be talking about strictly today arena defenses in terms of what are some good defenses you can currently use at the current moment. We don't have any new characters coming out in terms of right now until the next MO5 or RGB characters, so I thought right now would be a good time to make a defense video because I've gotten some questions about making certain defenses. So let's get right into it. So right now we are going to start off first with the Great Wall of China, someone said. It's funny because it's literally 3 knights at Harsh City. Now, this defense is quite annoying. It does take some time to beat this defense. Honestly, let's talk about it, right? So, Arunka, they have to hit her. So, therefore, they have to hit her. Harsh City stops cleave, so you can't really Luna cleave, right? Technically, having Ilyanov here technically really stops Zio, Bryceria, BBK, because obviously, if you Bryceria hit the Ilyanov with Bryceria's S3, or even, it's going to give her 40% CR, which means it's gonna cut the BBK regardless. BBK is not gonna get a turn. She will be cutting and she will be cleansing the entire team, and then you're just gonna be S3 BBK into a Great Wall, pretty much. That's pretty much how this comp really works. That's why you do see a lot of these comps, because it kind of does stop all the Luna and it kind of does stop all the Zio. Technically stops all the Zio, but not all but one comp. And then FCC is just there to stop true damage at that point, right? And she gives everyone the shield, she got skill and all. She's just there to stop everybody, right? But let's talk about the builds. Honestly, my builds are not going to be optimized. I'm not going to be changing these builds, but I'll be showing you kind of what it should look like, right? Harsh City is probably the only one that looks just like what she's going to be looking like. So, Harsh City. Honestly, Abyssal Crown could be the way to go. But there is one cleave comp that is very good into this. It is a gear check, yes, and it is a technically RNG because you need to land defense break on everybody, right? So Harsh said he could have a Abyssal Crown. But besides the Abyssal Crown, I do think running Proof of Valor is quite nice as well. I think this is quite insane. We get her bulky again. This is for that one cleave, which is going to be the Fire Litica, Zio, Judge, and Frida. Because if Harsh City lives, there's a chance you win. There is really a chance you win here. But you could run a full damage one, but if you do run a damage one, keep in mind, just make sure it's tanky enough. So that's the problem. You need to make sure it's tanky enough with some damage and all that. Mine really isn't built like that, but I'll show you why it's not built like that, right? But again, you could do this. I also do think, it's funny, but I do think Labyrinth Cube is a good way to go about it as well versus that cleave. If you are really trying to stop cleavers. Labyrinth Cube as one Harsh City is actually going to be pretty good because if she can cut in between that certain comp of the Judge and Fire Litica. She could cut literally in between because they don't get over 100% CR. They only go to 100. So if she passes that, well, she's going to cut them, unbuffable, get rid of the attack buff, and that's really about it. It's over because they're not going to be able to kill the entire wall, basically, right? But now, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the team. Now, Arunka, honestly, you can build her however you really want to, because she is one of those characters that, there's a lot of builds with her. There is a lot of builds that I actually like quite a bit, right? There is this build where it's a Rocket Punch build. There's also the Noble Oath build, which honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I had more trouble with Noble Oath than I had with Rocket Punch. Rocket Punch for a defense, it's whatever. I really don't think it's that great for defense. Yes, the counters are nice and all that, but it's okay. I lose to maybe one every. Arunka has to literally pop off, hit my Bryceria, and dispel it, and literally some insane RNG has to happen for me to lose versus Arunka with Rocket Punch. But Noble Oath, oh my goodness, the amount of times I've lost to Noble Oath Arunka, especially with Ilyanov on team, which I will get to shortly, is annoying. So yeah, you can either run this build, you can run more bulky, more HP. It just really depends on what you want to do with Arunka. This is how I'm running my Arunka for GPG. Stats are going to change anyway, so I don't mind showing it, right? But again, Rocket Punch is not really needed. I'll say that right now. You can run Noble Oath. I think Noble Oath is better, in my honest opinion. I don't have Noble Oath because I got rid of it. But yes, I think Noble Oath is worth it. And also, don't run Holy Sack. I think Holy Sack is such a... It's not that good. It's really not that good. But I do think you want immunity on her. All right, next, it is going to be Ilyanov. Ilyanov. Now, again, there's 2 ways to do it. I have mine on a full damage build with Rise of Monarch paired with Arunka, with Noble Oath, with Arunka being a Noble Oath, plus this Rise of Monarch shield gold to Arunka. You aren't killing it with a Fire Liquid Judge team. You are not going to kill it. There's a chance you actually lose that if it goes really bad. Because I've seen it happen to me many times, and I've upgraded my Judge Key, say higher damage and everything, and my Fire Liquid. But yeah, these 2 combinations are disgusting. You could also run Crown of Glory. I do run this in my quick battle sometimes, mainly versus Mort. I run this because it reduces the damage. It's nice. I take it. I actually like that artifact quite a bit. Now, in terms of Ilyanov build, I love the full damage build, but you can just go full HP, defense, and what's it called? So it's HP, defense, and immunity. Because you do for sure want immunity on your Arunka, right? So I'm pretty sure it was something like... Where is it at? I have no idea where that gear is at, so let me look around. Actually, I think it's this one. No, I don't think it's that one. But basically, just try to go for as most pokes you can, because it's really, it's a big difference. It really is. If you are able to get like full tanky and all that. So now since I did immunity, we go to this. Just give her some ER. Or honestly, even if you have this free gear from the Epic Dash Pass, you can literally just do this over and over and over, right? Again, I am literally just throwing random gear on her to figure out ideally what you really want. Let's do this just for why not. And then Ilyanov give you some defense over here, and there, something like that. Literally, just give her a big wall as well, because Ruka will probably just solo at that point, right? But again, it really depends on the build you really want to do. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. There's so many builds you can do with Ilyanov, which I like quite a bit. It doesn't even have to be Destro. Counter can work perfectly fine as well. And then FCC is literally just going to be there as much HP as you can with Aureus or Adamant. I do like Adamant a lot because it does reduce the crit damage, but I do like Aureus as well for the extra defense as well. So it really just depends, right? It all depends on the artifacts, up to you. But I really prefer Adamant over Aureus, because if you give FCC Aureus, she is going to be guaranteed dead. She is guaranteed going to die, right? Because she is going to be taking a lot of the damage they're going to be taking. So it's really up to you, right? So this is one defense. Again, I made all these videos in terms of how to beat every single defense I'm going to show right now. So it's up to you, right? So one of the other defenses, which is kind of popular right now because of Renaka, is going to be involving, obviously, Renaka and Sharun. This is a very, very popular defense. Again, the builds on Arunka and Ilyanov are not going to be changing at all. But I would only run this defense if you have the speed gear. That would be the only time I would run this defense. Now, if you're obviously in the lower leagues, you could probably get away with like some other different type of speeds. But I'm talking like 320 for this is mainly for Legend, right? Legend and Emperor. If you're in the lower leagues, I think anything over 300, you could definitely cheese people, right? But this defense actually worked quite well, especially if you were to give Renaka Secret Art Sword Storm. She is gonna be annoying people. You give her this, and she will be cutting my Luna is 313. I've been cut before from a 320, I think. So you can really get cut quite a bit. Even if they do that Little Big Team video I made, running Sass on Renaka will let you cut in between that. And then you just kill them. So I would run this. It's not too bad, but it really requires a lot of speed gear to run this defense. It's pretty simple, right? Renaka goes, she stuns herself, Sharun covers and cuts. But obviously, Dragon King Sharun, you do want her like around 270, 260-ish, right? This is not the current build. Again, I've showcased the build before in terms of her, which is effectiveness. Where is it at? Where is your boot, actually? I forgot where your boot went. Speed. Let me just look. Let me just toss you that. That's obviously not your sword. Let's go do this. Boom. And I think it's hit set. Is it hit set? I don't think it is hit set. Chest? One of these is your speed gear. But I don't remember where they are. But ideally, you want her around like really, really fast. Right? You really want her quite fast as you can. Okay, so it's this. Let's come over here. Speed. That. there, you want to look around there. I would see a little bit more bulk, but that's usually the consensus, right? You get the idea of it. You usually want around 260, 270 faster if you really want to, right? That's up to you. But ideally, you do want it around there. Again, that's not really the best gear for her. I just threw on whatever to show you the speed you ideally really want her to be. In terms of artifacts, this is going to be the best artifact. Guaranteed, without a doubt, it's going to be the best artifact. Now, the next defense. It is going to be the same thing. Same thing. But, technically, you could just swap the Ilyanov with FCC, and you could run the exact same thing, so people cannot use the exact same team comp versus you. So basically what happens here is that if someone tries to take Renaka into you, they are not going to be killing you, because FCC exists. FCC cuts true damage in half. So Cascade, instead of doing 4k damage, it is going to be doing about 2k damage, which is a big difference, especially if you do run a little bit tankier Renaka. Again, Renaka really comes up to you in terms of if you want more bulk on her and all that. I'm not gonna, my Renaka is just full with attack. You could add bulk if you really want to, right? Another great defense is also going to be, instead of Sharun, it does have Hua Young on there for Sharun. This is also a very popular defense as well, because that means I can't really Ludwig this, I can't really Zeo this. You could Zeo this, but the problem with Zeo is you do have a problem of Renaka probably going into your BBK, or just not really killing it that much, right? Because there is a problem if Renaka's AI is quite weird, I would say that. It is a very, very weird AI, because sometimes she will S2 somebody, and then she'll go to somebody else. It just really depends on your team comps and you really bring it into this, right? But again, this is a very good defense as well. If someone tries to deal with you, Hua Young is going to go and boom, she is going to S3 right away. Yes, she will S3 even if you do like 10% damage to this Arunka. It's funny. It's funny how it works like that. But this is also a very, very good defense as well into a lot of cleave options, right? Such as the Luna Ludwig video I made on. And obviously Renaka can't really beat this defense. It could, but I'll be surprised if it does. You need some more damage on this team, because the problem is Hua Young. Hua Young is going to go S2 into somebody. So it's a bit spooky. Like Renaka, the FCC with Renaka is quite good because you can't get Renaka yourself. You can, but it's very dicey, I will say, man, because she does get cut. The damage gets cut in half, right? So it really just depends. Another good defense would be, funny enough, it would be my defense. I'm going to show my defense. I actually don't think it's that bad. I've dropped down to champion 1. I haven't done my hits. Yeah, I was asleep yesterday. Wait, the day before I was asleep after work, so I didn't really want to play. And then yesterday was all maintenance, so I didn't even play after work. I had no time to really play. But my defense is 24%. I was in Legend most of the time. I've been running the same exact defense, and surprisingly, it does actually quite well. So I'm going to show it, because it does decently well to people who don't know, right? So I have my Luna here. She's just my fastest Luna. Hua Young is just here as well, because it does pretty well versus some cleaves and all that. Especially people try to Renaka me. If my bystander Hua Young goes into a right target when it comes to Renaka cleave, she will hit him. If they don't play it right in their Renaka cleave, my Hua Young will go, which she will go ahead and kill. Right, Crow is here because he has basically inbuilt Aureus. I don't even need Aureus on himself. And it does quite well. It actually literally does quite well for a defense. I have no idea why it does so well, but it does. It's funny enough. Especially since I'm not going for top 3 now, right? Top 30, I don't know. I'm kind of lazy about it. I'm fine with another top 100 frame. I'm going to go for top 3 next season anyways, right? So this is going to be the crowd build, and this is going to be the Lion build. Funny enough, it does quite well. So if it does well for me, it should probably do well for people in the lower leagues, such I am in right now currently, right? It does actually quite well. But Lion does need 3F. If she does not have 3F, it's not going to be that good of a defense, right? Also, again, some people have gone to top 100 and looked at certain builds here. Literally all these defenses, literally the ones I mentioned. All of them. I'm gonna be honest. I see you Fiend ones. I don't really like that defense. I think that defense is, it ain't good. You get cut and you die and all that, and it's not really worth it. But I have seen this defense. It's gonna be Harsetti, SPP, Yes, you really require these 2 units, which is quite annoying. Again, I barely got SPP myself. Another MO5 character. Yeah, I'm sorry, God forbid. And then we go to Mort. This defense, I struggled with a bit. Because sometimes if I Zeo and I don't push back to Harsetti, there were times where it got a little bit dicey. Because obviously Yuffie cutting my CR bar, I did struggle versus this quite a bit. But then I could figure I could just turn to this comp. I thought this comp was decent, but the more I fight it, it's just gotten less and less and less. But I do think the defenses I've shown you are quite good defenses to technically run. Yes, they're common, but the builds and artifacts I told you to run are going to be your key components. Especially the Harsetti, the 4 Knights, Harsetti and Friends, right? Those are really going to be based on your artifacts. If you run a tanky enough team, the cleaves I've uploaded, all the videos I've uploaded are not really going to work. They are not going to work, right? So it really just comes down to you. Now, again, another thing about Harsetti is that you could run a fast Harsetti. On any of the defenses that I've ran, a fast Harsetti is just going to work just as good. It's going to work quite well. Go back down here, be Arunka. Fast Harsetti can let you do a lot of things. It can really mess up a lot of people's cleave because you are a fast Harsetti. So there's just so much you can do in that department. Also, I will say I've seen, I think it's this defense with Flan. I don't have Senya, MO Senya. But I've seen some people run this as well. While yes, if Arunka resists the Zeo and everything, it could be kind of good. Arunka S1, she's going to bring the Flan will cut and all that. But honestly, this defense, I really don't like it because it's so easy to turn to compared to some of the other defenses where it takes much longer to turn to. Like swatching this with FCC turns that fight into like a 5-minute fight. It really does. Especially if you don't cleave like I do and some other people, right? So again, hopefully this video does help. These are some defenses I do highly recommend. The builds are very, very important on some of them. So it just really comes down to you. But other than that, though, thank you for watching the video. Hope you have a good day. If you have any other questions, let me know down below. Trust me, I will be updating this in the future as well. And I still have a lot more arena comps to be showcasing. But other than that, though, thanks for watching the video. Hope you have a good day, and peace out.